July 24th, 2022. The day rugby league died.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by our good friends at Top Sport, onelittlefootyfan.com.au and the Stubby Club. Dan, huge weekend of rugby league, some fantastic games.
Zero talking points whatsoever.
Unfortunately, the only talking points we have are controversy.
Very controversial. Not in any world did I see us opening with anything else other than the Dale Finucane story, but it's been bumped to second by something that, well, by the time you watch this, literally just happened. Mm-hmm. Terry, take it away.
Look, at the time of the call, you've got to say it was shocking. An absolutely shocking call. When you break it down, when you listen to people who are talking about it online afterwards, I understand why Ashley Klein interpreted it as he did. I understand.
Because he's an idiot.
That's what I'm going to say there. He went by the letter of the law, and the letter of the law said that Kapoa, whilst he didn't look at Caulfield at any time on his turn and chase, was looking at Caulfield from the kickoff. And that's the important part here. He's looking at Caulfield from the kickoff. So he turns around and he runs, and he doesn't get there before Caulfield. He has to be stationary. At no point was Kapoa stationary.
Terry, here's where you're wrong. Kyle Felt, big fan of the show.
Thanks, Kyle.
Runs into the bloke. Flops and laughs. Everyone from Fox Sports, Channel 9, Triple M to, me, not you. So experts of the game, real experts. There's nothing in that. Nothing in it. Laughing.
Do you know
Dane Laurie runs the ball out. Game's over. Tigers celebrate. Points are banked. Then Chad Townsend runs over like a little kid in the schoolyard. I'll be referee. Let's just divert for a second. Chad couldn't beat the Tigers without referee decision after the bell.
Fair.
That's very, very correct.
He also couldn't beat the Bulldogs with a 5-on-2 overlap when the Dogs were terrible.
We're getting off track here, but thank you for reminding me. Goes up. Everyone says, nothing in it. One bloke, one guy in the entire world. Two. One who matters, and Ashley Klein, comes back and says, that's a penalty. We'll give him a shot. Give him the game. Give them the game.
Do you know why Kyle Felt was laughing? Because he got him.
He got him.
He didn't get Ashley Klein, he got Kapoa. Because he knew that Kapoa wasn't stationary.
Kapoa
he had to be stationary. He wasn't stationary.
15 metres from the ball.
Yeah, but
he was looking at the ball.
You can be 50 metres from the ball. You've got to be stationary.
The rule you're trying to stand behind, Devil's Advocate is very, very good at it, has just rewarded a bloke, Kyle Felt, again, big fan of the show, who ran into a bloke who wasn't watching. And Ashley Klein was stupid enough. So there's people out there saying this was, rigged, blah, blah. I don't buy into that, not for a single second.
I don't buy into it was rigged. But Ashley Klein has gone to the letter of the law.
No, Ashley Klein's gone to the letter of the law and gone, how can I make this all about me? Let's give a penalty. Now, don't get me wrong. You are not ever going to catch either Terry or myself crying any tears for the Tigers. I'm on record saying I hope they finish last, and I still do.
Yeah, I hope they finish last.
My Titans, hate them. Anyways, so, there's no bias here. We don't particularly like the Cowboys either, but, lesser of two evils. That was a disgusting decision. They were robbed of 2 points. Awful.
At the end of the day, it's controversial, right? It is. It's a controversial call.
Blatantly wrong.
Yeah, it's a controversial call that Ashley Klein has adjudicated to the letter of the law. Now, a couple of months ago on the show, you and I said that there needs to be a common sense bunker to overturn the bunker.
Yeah.
Now, if you ref this game on common sense, it's full time and the Tigers take home the W. Unfortunately, you play a sport which has rules, and Ashley Klein has gone to the rule book and interpreted the rule exactly how it is in the NRL. Now, there's other things of contention in here. Let's take away the decision from Ashley Klein. First of all, Chris Butler did not blow time off, right? So the game was still going when he allowed the Cowboys to challenge. Mm-hmm. Now, people are saying that the Cowboys had, 25, 30 seconds or whatever. No, that's not the case. Butler actually never blew his whistle. So there's the first...
Game's still going,
Yeah, there's the first thing that went wrong in there. The second thing is that when he blows the whistle, the Cowboys have the right to challenge that. You do have the right to challenge it the minute a whistle is blown. Now, there are some that you can't, but that and full-time, Parramatta challenged after the siren last year, they could. But Chris Butler is at the forefront of this for getting the decision wrong there. Ashley Klein interpreted it as the rules say.
I cannot be convinced otherwise. There's nothing in the rules that rewards Kyle Feldt for veering off his line. So he's 20 metres from the ball. He wasn't getting anywhere near it. That, for me, takes it completely out of. It's not.
It wasn't 20. It was about 8.
He's not contesting the ball.
But he's going to have a jump.
He's not.
He is.
Laurie's got the ball, hit the ground, danced the jiggity jig, gone in the stands, had a beer and come back before Felt's got anywhere near it.
That's not true.
Absolutely not happening. This could go on all night, and it will after that. Yeah. It will, like, very much. But we must move on, Terry. Let's talk about something. No, please,
just on that there. Look, in no way, shape or form, am I sitting there saying that this is 100% right or it's 100% wrong. What I'm saying is it's interpreted black and white as it is in the rule book. Now, for too long, the NRL now is refereed as it's printed. There is no common sense to the game. And the next one we're going to talk about as well, Ashley Klein used his common sense. Mm-hmm. But for this particular rule here, he's thrown it out the window and interpreted off the book. Now, it doesn't matter how far away Kyle Feldt is because, you know, you throw a pass and then you hit a player late. Okay, so the play's gone. Or an obstruction that happens 15 metres infield, right? The obstruction on Adam Reynolds. It was 15 metres infield, but Adam Reynolds was denied the chance to go and stop the try. So Kyle Feldt has been denied a chance. Now, Dane Laurie could have caught that ball. What's to say that Kyle Feldt, if he hadn't have been knocked over, doesn't run and take a one-on-one strip and go and score under the post? He was denied his opportunity to be involved in that play by a guy who wasn't stationary. And that is the ruling from Ashley Klein.
He was denied because he ran into a bloke and fell over.
Because Capole wasn't stationary. He's played that perfect.
He wasn't playing at the ball, he was playing for the penalty. That right there, if that rule is correct, what you're saying, and I don't believe it to be true, needs to be torn up tomorrow. Now, Graham Annesley will come out tomorrow and he will say the ref got it right because that's what Annesley does. He runs from conflict. He'll come out and he'll say tomorrow the ref got it right. He'll come out and he'll say, Ashley Klein, did he get it right with Dale Finucane? Or did the match review committee get it right? That's the one I'm looking forward to seeing. Please take over, Terry, because I'm getting a little bit hot under the collar.
Yeah, so the Dale Finucane one, it was a head clash, right? Now, there are still shots that show Dale Finucane's shoulder on Stephen Crichton's face, but this is after the head clash, so there's no force from Dale Finucane's shoulder. Straight away, Ashley Klein blew his whistle, put his hands up because he saw Stephen Crichton in distress on the floor. The Penrith players ran at Ashley Klein and he said, whoa, I've got a head clash. Which is why there was no fight broken. And you can see from the Panthers as well, if that was a shoulder to the head or a swinging arm to the head...
Oh, it's on.
It's on. Yeah. And Finucane's off.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's hit him head first, right? It's careless and it's stupid from Finucane, right, to run out like that because you're only going to get one outcome from it. Now, we're lucky that it was the head clash and not the shoulder because he didn't get sent off. But you can throw a steal shot after the point of contact. There's no impact at all from Dale Finucane's shoulder into the jaw. The first point of contact is the head. Stephen Crichton swivels.
Yeah, he falls because he was knocked out.
Now, the video referee... So Ashley Klein has said, and he's even said again, I've got a head clash. The touch judges have come in field, and you can hear them when the fight's going on. They said, it's a head clash.
Yep, straight up.
Goes upstairs. There's a play the ball because it's a head clash. Now, the match review committee has stepped in, which they're entitled to do. But now Dale Finucane needs to take this to the judiciary and say, well, if the referee's got a head clash and the bunker's got a head clash, how are you charging me with a grade 3?
Why am I fighting this? Yeah. It until half an hour ago, was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen. Mm-hmm. There was 2 Panthers fans online saying it was a head clash. Everyone else in the world said saying it wasn't a head clash. Everyone else in the world said it just happens. There's 30 times this happened. Nate Miles in Origin. Head clash. Okay, it happens. Mm-hmm. It's a tough game. You get 2 big blokes running into each other, there's going to be head clashes. Happens in the boxing, happens everywhere. Someone said to me, it can't be a head clash because the guy's ear's ripped.
Yeah, that's
Have you ever seen a soccer decision? Head on head. It happens. It was awful and I hope he's all right. You know, it could end his season in all seriousness. You know, he's going to have to get plastic surgery. I understand that. But it's a tough game. Accidents happen. It's an accidental head clash. If he gets suspended in the same year where Kafusi and Clemmer got off with fines for dropping elbows, and in the same game kick out through a shoulder charge, which is illegal, and got off scot-free, no penalty and a pittance fine, if Finucane gets suspended for this, they've set a precedent, and every single tackle where there's a head clash will lead to 2 weeks moving forward.
Now, people are citing the Michaeli Ravalawa incident this year. Yeah, Michaeli Ravalawa hit him with the head, but he also forcefully hit him with the shoulder.
Yeah,
and it was shoulder first. Now, the biggest one on this was the Dylan Knapp one a few years ago, where he launched himself like a torpedo, and he absolutely clattered the bloke. But it was a shoulder charge to the head and then a headbutt.
Head clash, yeah.
This one here from Dale Finucane, and I think he's going to get done for being reckless more than anything. But it was a head clash.
Face on face.
Face on face.
It completely,
And Dale Finucane can't get uglier.
No, he can't. And you can't knock the bloke out because Stephen Crichton's got a pretty hard head.
And I mean, the biggest injustice in this is how the independent doctor didn't turn around and take Dale Finucane off the field.
That
left
was
him on there, yeah.
The big decision. Look quickly, we haven't got it written down, but I want to bring up Kalen Ponga. Another concussion. He's pretty much been ruled out for the season.
He has been ruled out. He was on the Matty Johns show.
He did come on Matty Johns and say, I'm leaving it in the hand of the doctors, which to me says season's over. Absolute shame, hate to see it, but it's a correct decision.
It is a correct decision. Now, the Knights find themselves in the precarious point of they're fourth last, and they're probably lucky that the Tigers and the Titans don't have 2 wins in them to leapfrog them. But regardless, even if they were coming last or they were one of the Tigers or the Titans, you've got to rule him out. It's 4 concussions, suffered very quickly. They cannot make the finals.
No.
Shut him down.
Absolutely. Think about his future and the future of the club. But, mate, a team that we thought was shut down 3 or 4 weeks ago, South Sydney, are now very much in the top 4 mix.
Because Latrell Mitchell is the best player in the competition.
Statistically, it's very, very hard to argue over the last month.
Yeah. Now, I've seen people turn around and go, James Tedesco had a better fullback performance than Latrell Mitchell because he ran for 300 metres or whatever. Latrell impacted the game just as much as James Tedesco did.
Latrell won the game. If there's no Latrell, that's game over. If Tedesco's out and Manu's there, the Roosters still win.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Roosters did that against the Knights.
Yeah.
Latrell Mitchell did this against the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, one of the best teams of all time.
I'm gonna say now, like, looking at the form of the player at the moment, there is none better than Latrell Mitchell. He's not going to win the Dally M because he's spent too much time on the sideline with the hamstring injury, but right now, Latrell Mitchell is the best player in the competition, hands down, apart from Ashley Klein. Dan.
Talk to me, Terry.
Let's get some positivity on this show. Look, he had a week off last week. I don't know if it's been a bludger or he had COVID or...
Well deserved.
We don't know who the guru tips or goes for, so we don't know if his team lost or whatever it is. But he's back. Welcome back, Guru.
G'day, boys. Thanks for having me on. Once again, round 19 done and dusted. Pretty controversial way to finish. The North Queensland Cowboys beating the Tigers on the last play. I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about that one as the week goes on. Bit of news from around the league, couple of rumours floating around. The first one, obviously Ben Hunt, a huge performance in Game 3 for the Queensland Maroons. He was unbelievable, scoring that last play try, whatever you want to call it. An unbelievable moment for Ben Hunt. Obviously still being haunted by that play in the 2015 Grand Final. But great to see a guy with his sort of ability bounce back in a big moment like that and own that big stage for the Queensland Maroons. Don't be surprised if you see him in Dolphins colours to finish his career. Obviously, he's got a relationship with Wayne Bennett. He's previously played with Anthony Milford as well under Wayne Bennett. Don't be surprised to see Ben Hunt land there. He's a Queenslander himself. I wouldn't be shocked to see him finishing his career up there. If he does, the St George Illawarra Dragons, they will be on the lookout for a new halfback. They might turn to a local junior in Jackson Hastings. I wouldn't be shocked to see him end up at the Dragons. It is home for him. He's a South Coast boy. His family still lives down there, very close with his family still as well. So just keep an eye on that situation, that if Benny Hunt does go, the Dragons, I think they'd be able to get their hands on Jackson Hastings. They'd be a lot cheaper than Ben Hunt, obviously, and you'd get really good value out of him. And I think Jackson Hastings, the more I watch of him over here in the NRL, the more he looks like an Anthony Griffin sort of footballer. So keep an eye on that one. The Gold Coast Titans, round 19, brought their 8th loss in a row. Pretty grim up there at the moment. They've actually made some changes to their roster over the last few weeks, or their lineup anyway, and it is looking good now. Aaron Booth in at 9 looks sensational. Aaron Clark, when he jumped into that 13 role, he looks great. Surely he will have to start in jersey 13 and not come off the bench last week. Heading in the right direction, but 8 losses in a row. Pressure is really starting to mount on Justin Holbrook and the men around him. Guys like Jim Dimmick and a few others up there, they've been sacked over the last few weeks. Sort of hasn't got too much media, but pressure is seriously mounting on Justin Holbrook there. No shocks to anyone. It'll be interesting to see if he does last the season. Speaking of pressure on teams, the Melbourne Storm, 4 losses in a row. There's a rumour going around that Nathan Brown could be there very soon from the Parramatta Eels, not being utilised by them at the moment. So keep an eye on Brownie arriving down there at the Melbourne Storm. They have been in this situation before and turned it around. You need to only go back to 2012. They lost 5 games in a row between round 16 and round 21. They had a bye in between those games, but they lost 5 in a row. And then Craig Bellamy, he managed to turn it around. They won their next 8 in a row, including the 2012 grand final. Bellamy was the coach, and there's only one player remaining from that 2012 Melbourne Storm team. And it is, of course, the skipper, Jesse Bromwich. So they've got guys that have been there and done it before. But the longer you watch the Melbourne Storm, the worse it's looking at the moment. Going to be an interesting few weeks running into the 2022 NRL Final Series. Cannot wait. I'll see you next week with some more rumours and whispers from around the league.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting. Look, we're on record as, well, you saw what we had to say about the Cowboys game. But there's someone else who's jumping on now to talk the Cowboys. Kate, what do you got for us?
Hey Dan and Terry. Well, I've literally just finished watching the Cowboys and Tigers game and I'm pretty speechless if I'm very honest. I tweeted a congratulations to Jimmy Tamo for winning his 300th game up in Townsville where his career began, and then boom, a poor call in my opinion gave us a penalty to steal the match from the poor old Tigers. What on earth just happened? Now look, I'll take the 2 points because it puts us 2 points clear of the Sharkies, but wow, that is not how you want to win a game of footy. And it's certainly not a win I'm going to gloat about here. The Tigers did all they could to win that game and bloody hell, it was in the bag for them. It was a game they deserved to win, especially when you look at how the stats played out. We were certainly not at our best today. We looked good for about 10 minutes of the game, and if I'm being serious, I'm being very generous there as well. It was probably our worst performance of the season and the best performance by the Tigers. We only completed 64 of our sets compared to the Tigers' 80%. We had 16 errors to the Tigers' 10, and while the Tigers had a player in the sin bin, we still weren't able to capitalise. And look, I'll never say a bad word about Felty because he puts in 110% every game, but wow, his defensive edge was found out with 3 tries today. 3 tries! I was just talking to someone about how great his defensive combo with Petahiku had been this year, but it is certainly back to the drawing board for them this week at training. We were also playing so much low percentage footy for so much of the game. It was incredibly frustrating to watch. Instead of playing safe footy, making smart decisions that would help us complete a few sets on the trot, we were playing like we needed to score off every play and forcing so much ball, it just caused error after error. If there is a shining light to come from the match, it was the effort again of Reece Robson with 50 tackles to his name, and Jeremiah Nanai led the metres count with 206 metres and he had 2 tries in the game today. All in all, it was an incredibly tough game to watch. We came out well in the second half, I thought, though, to even the score, but we fell straight back into the poor habits of the first half. And if we're going to be a threat at the back end of this season, we obviously need to do so much better than the performance that they put out on field today. I'd love to be a fly on the wall to listen to Todd Payten this week. Look, it has been a long time since the squad has been together, and to be honest, they looked very rusty. Scotty Drinkwater even got yanked from the field today. It wasn't his best game, so I'll expect a very big performance from him next week. Up next for the Cowboys is the Dragons away from home, so that will be another test. I'm looking forward to catching up on the press conferences during the week from the Cowboys and listen to Todd Payten to see what he wants to work on this week and how he's going to turn a performance like that around, because there is certainly some work to do this week. Just quickly, a big congratulations to Jimmy Tamo. He is so loved up by North Queensland fans. He of course started his career as a Cowboy, and he was absolutely fantastic for us in the whole time that he was in our jersey. It was, I think, just over 170 games for the club. He was one of those players who just always gave 100%, and he never let us down. His legacy will always be a part of the club's history, with a try in the 2015 grand final helping us to get that historic win. 300 games at this level as a forward is incredibly impressive, and I'm really sorry that that's how his 300th game ended up. He's a bloke that deserves better than that. It will be interesting to see what the NRL come out and say about the game in general. In my opinion, the ref looked a little bit out of his depth on a few occasions, and to hand the biggest decision of the game essentially over to the bunker was a huge error on his behalf. He's the one with the whistle. He's the boss out on the field. He just needed to call the end of that game. All right, well, look, that's it from me for this week, although I will ask you to pray for me. My partner is a West Tigers supporter, so I've got no idea if our marriage will survive after this one. See you guys.
Terry.
Talk to me then.
Let's talk some black, white and blue.
Look, it's disappointing to lose.
It is.
But when you put an effort in like that against the best team in rugby league history statistically at the moment, they're smashing all records. Records from back when St George went on their 10-year winning streak. They're smashing those records right now.
They're a very good side.
They are incredible. And you know what? Cronulla were incredible in patches in this game against the Panthers, but the Panthers have shown that you need to be switched on for 80 minutes. 78 minutes doesn't count.
Look, we've said for weeks and weeks that
this is the litmus test.
If we make errors and we give away stupid penalties, that the Panthers will beat us. They did. But in saying that, I am very, very happy with where we're at. I think it's pretty undisputed right now. As it stands, we are the second best team in the competition. I thought the effort was tremendous. That opening 20 minutes was near flawless.
Yeah.
We had Penrith reeling.
Rattled.
Then, because I was, congratulations to Troy on his engagement. We were at a party and we were watching on a screen, a muted screen, it must be said. Every time we looked up, Penrith were either attacking our line or we were kicking from our own 20. It didn't look like we had the ball in their half for a good 35, 40 minutes. Now, the game came down to a decision. Ashley Klein, your mate Ashley Klein, missed a shoulder charge on kick out. Now, look, it didn't decide the game. I think Penrith were the better team, but it led to the try that ultimately wrapped it up with 2 minutes to go.
Answer me this question here, Dan. We know it was a shoulder charge. Connor Tracy knew it was a shoulder charge. Connor Tracy dropped the ball in the play of the ball. Why didn't we challenge that?
Well, that's the $1 million question. I thought perhaps we'd used a challenge earlier, or it was told. I don't know. It's a short answer. It's very well done. But where I'm going with this is it took a 50-50 decision in the final minutes for Penrith to beat us at home when they dominated pretty much from the 20th minute onwards. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, look, up until Penrith's first try, the tackle count inside their 20 was 16-2.
Yep.
So they had all the ball, all the field possession, all the momentum. We were kicking out of our half. Credit to Nico Hines. He didn't have the best game with the ball in his hand, but his kicking game kept us out of trouble there. Our forwards really muscled up. Like Toby Rudolph, his form recently has been incredible. Yeah, Cam McInnes. Look, I'm indifferent on Cam McInnes, but I thought he was really good. Dale Finucane, of course, I think he's sensational. Wade Graham, in the opening 20 minutes, it was like we had 2016 Wade Graham back, and then he just kind of...
It fell away. It fell away. Look, what out of 10, what would you give the effort?
8.5.
Yeah. I think if we hold the ball, we potentially win that game.
The one thing... it's not only that, it's the lapse in concentration. The first set after half-time, you can't just think Penrith are going to kick the ball. No. Now, they picked out Andrew Fafita. They saw him in the second row, and Jerome Luai just went, get me the ball, we're scoring here. Oh, look, I said it on the show last week, if we lost by 10 or 16 points or whatever, and we put in the effort, and our attitude was good, and our discipline was good, and our discipline was okay, our ball control was okay.
It was okay considering.
You need to be perfect to beat Penrith. That one lapse in concentration, not challenging that shoulder charge. Like, it's 14-10 with 4 minutes to go and you've just knocked on in the play of the ball. If you lose your challenge, you're in the same spot. Challenge it.
It's very true. I feel better this week than I did last week about the Sharks, and considering what Penrith have done to every other contender this year, I feel very, very good.
Do you know what I feel good about, Dan?
What's that, Terry?
The Newtown Jets.
The Newtown Jets, the high-flying Newtown Jets.
Down 8-0 at half-time, shocking first half.
Awful, disgusting,
Come back home with a wet sail against North Sydney, who are a premiership contender, to win 20 points to 14. If you take that second half and put in the first half, we blow them off the park. Our boy Jordan Leo for North Sydney was absolutely monstrous. Incredible. He is a unit. How he doesn't have a contract, I don't know.
Perhaps we should look at that. But
our flag team, though, got done over by the high-flying Sydney Roosters. Now, if you haven't seen the flag table, it's congested like the NRL table from 2nd to 6th. The Sydney Roosters are flying. They've lost one game this year, beat us 26-6.
They are incredible. I think the flag side's got a lot of superstars, but we're talking for the Jets. Cade Dykes is the next superstar. Lockie Miller at 6 controlled the kicking game really well in some pretty horrible conditions at Henson Park. That guy's got a boot. I'm now putting Lockie Miller second cab off the rank, anywhere from 1 to 7. If there's an injury, Lockie Miller must come in. But Cade Dykes...
Not in the halves.
I'd even look at him, given he's played more football than Trindle. But Cade Dykes, Tommy Hazelton...
Kale Lyro.
Oh, the future is so bright. If you haven't seen, get on it. Get to a Newtown game. Get on the stream. Incredible stuff.
Now, Dan, 24th of July 2010, we sign a young back rower. Young 5'8".
Yeah, an unheralded 5'8", a backup 5'8".
From the Penrith Panthers.
You may have heard of him.
Wade Graham. And it's the anniversary today.
It is 12 years.
We absolutely love him.
12 years of genius, a premiership, Origins, World Cup. The bloke's one of the best players in Cronulla history. I would say league history. He does things that no other back rower can.
And has done since.
Just that and the Luke Lewis thing. I cannot talk enough about Wade
He's
Graham.
one of the best ever signings that we've made.
But it's getting to decision time.
Yep.
Wade Graham next year. We won't go into
him and
this.
Andrew Fafita.
We won't go into this in great depth.
Maybe this is an off-season,
Yeah.
I think it's time.
Now let's leave it to the comments. We'll go further on this down the track, but I think it's time.
It's time. Dan.
Talk to me, Terry.
It's time for some top sport tips.
Coming off a perfect round last week.
Oh, yeah?
No.
No, because the Titans lost. Yeah, no, look, between us we got a perfect round.
Yeah,
so
it counts.
That's all that counts.
Look at the books.
Yeah. Now, look, let's just get straight into it because there is some absolutely fantastic games of rugby league. And what better way to start it off than this game here could very well settle who's going to get 8th spot. It's Manly against the Roosters at 4 Pines Stadium on Thursday night.
A 4-pointer at 4 Pines.
This game is incredible.
Roosters.
Yeah, look, I really thought Manly were, immoral to go and absolutely belt the Dragons, but the Dragons just turned out their season's still on. We haven't pulled the plug off their life support yet.
No, the exact opposites.
Are we doing that to Manly?
If they lose this game, as I suspect they will, yes, I certainly am. They have got a very difficult run in. 4 tough games in 6. So.
Yeah, I'm going with the Roosters as well in this game. Joey Manu will be back. Luke Keary looked sensational, playing at 6, which is what you and I called for.
Who would have known? Roosters.
There's a reason why we have this show.
Bye Manly.
6 o'clock in New Zealand. The Warriors against the Storm. Now the Warriors are coming off a fantastic 40 minutes of football, a dreadful 40 minutes of football. The Storm are coming off 4 losses in a row. How do you see this one going, Dan?
Can't see Melbourne losing 5 in a row, Terry. Been saying that for 3 weeks.
I'd love it.
Yeah, me too. And look, it is in New Zealand, so the fans are going to be well behind their team. I just can't see it.
I want to see it. I want to see the Warriors win this game. I can't see it though. Like Melbourne were there and thereabouts against South Sydney.
Yeah, they were.
And South Sydney, as we said, they're
much better side.
Close game. Storm for mine.
Yeah, I agree with that. It may be a late blowout, but it'll be close for 55, 60 minutes.
Now, Friday night, we've got another blockbuster.
Game of the round, perhaps?
No, not quite.
Oh,
Parramatta against the Panthers. Now, it's probably the game of the round in terms of rivalry, but not in terms of competition. Parramatta are the only team that have taken points off Penrith this year. I am going to go with Penrith, though, to keep their run on.
This is the revenge game.
Yeah.
Penrith are filthy they lost that game. 1, because they would be undefeated otherwise, and 2, they hate Parramatta and vice versa. This will be the revenge game. This is the game where Nathan Cleary will sit back and watch what I've said about him over the last 4 or 5 weeks and give me the big F you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, part of me wants, again, to pick Parramatta, but the performance they put in against the Broncos was absolutely dreadful. I'm going to pick Penrith in this one, 13+.
13+.
Now, Dan, start off Super Saturday. Your Titans are taking on the Canberra Raiders. Are the Titans going to win this week, Daniel?
Yes.
No chance. Raiders are winning this game.
No chance. They suck.
All right, let's... 5:30.
Professionalism.
5:30.
Game of the round.
Shark Buck, yeah, absolutely game of the round. The Cronulla Sharks take on the South Sydney Rabbitohs. High flying. Look, Cronulla coming off a performance that you can write home to your mum about and say, look, I'm not disappointed that we lost. South's coming off a performance against Melbourne where you're going, well, you know, this is good. Latrell's back. We contain Latrell Mitchell. We win this game.
Yes, it's as simple as that.
It's
as simple as stopping one player. You know, he just happens to be a pretty handy player in Latrell. I think we, across the park, are a better side. But you tell that to a bloke who's in career best form.
Now, Connor Tracy's going to have his hands full against Alex Johnson as well, because AJ is in some serious try-scoring form at the moment. Like, people write this guy off every year and laugh about him. He's 20 tries in a year for 6 years in a row.
Stop it. I was thinking pre-game, pre this weekend, that there'd be 1 week Ikavali gets a game and comes in the first grade. The way he played for the Jets, Connor's got the spot for as long as he's...
Kale That's my boy.
Oh, I like the sound of that. I wouldn't be debuting him against South.
No, it's again, you couldn't debut him against Penrith, you can't debut him against South. It'll come though.
It will, absolutely.
It will. I am going to pick the Rabbits in the jinx this week.
Well, I'm going back on the Sharks. I've ridden loss after loss after loss this week.
It's given me quite the handy buffer.
Yeah, it's good. We swapped over now. Mm-hmm. Sharks, close game. Nico Hines, the difference.
Absolutely. Now, to round off your Super Saturday, the Brisbane Broncos are coming up against the West Tigers. Now, if the Tigers give half the effort that they did against the Cowboys, this could be a close game. Unfortunately, up at Suncorp, I don't think the Tigers are going to have this 2 weeks in a row in them. I feel the Broncos are going to get their for and against up on this game.
This is a danger game for the Sharks.
Yeah.
In that the Broncos are nipping at our heels, and a big win here. Even if we do beat South, they might jump us on differential.
Yeah, because you got to have a look. You know, you're expecting a close game against South Sydney, whereas I'm expecting
this ain't going to be a close game. We said it last week. The Tigers are going to get blown off the park. This week they will.
Yeah. Your Sunday Rugby League starts up in Newcastle. The Knights against the Bulldogs. The Knights season's done and dusted. The Dogs is as well, but they've got plenty to play for. They don't know who their new coach is yet. Mick Potter, they want him around the club.
He's got to stay.
He has to stay. What he's doing with that team at the moment. Now, you made a comment to me, Matt Burton was sensational last weekend, and he is when he's running downhill against crappy teams. He hasn't got much against the good sides at the moment. That's more indicative of the team around him. But this Knights team is really bad, and Matt Burton will be really good again. And Josh Addo-Carr will be really good again, and the Dogs are going to win this game and win it comfortably.
Yeah, absolutely. Took the words right out of my mouth. No Ponga, no Newcastle. We saw that on the weekend. They've got nothing. Nothing that can worry this Bulldogs team. 1-17. This is going to be flogging.
And to finish your
Super Sunday.
Your week of rugby league, the St George Illawarra Dragons up against the North Queensland Cowboys. Now, let's take a little bit of time to appreciate what the Dragons have done here. I thought their season was done, and I thought that Manly were going to drive the nail in their coffin. Ben Hunt. Benny Hunt. You know, people turn around and are saying that he needs better than the Dragons. He's making the Dragons better. Like, he's probably going to win the Dally M.
If there's no Ben Hunt, the Dragons are in a shootout for the wooden spoon. I have no doubt in the world. He dragged them to victory the other night. He's probably won more games single-handedly than anyone else across the competition. Yeah, I think he's pretty close to Dally M. he probably deserves it, to be totally honest.
Absolutely deserves it.
You
now.
put him into any side in that top 4 and they instantly become better.
I mean, if you put...
Except maybe the Panthers.
Yeah, well, I mean, but if you put him at the halfback for the Sharks with Nico Hines, and we're a completely different team now. And Sir Fitz, Hunt's off contract very soon. For mine, I'm going to stick with the Dragons on this one to beat the Cowboys and keep their season going, because I'm believing in Ben Hunt. I don't believe in anyone else for the Dragons, but I believe Ben Hunt can drag the Dragons to a victory.
Look, the Dragons will probably be leading with 10 seconds to go, and the Cowboys will get to some decision, kick a goal and win it. Not that they deserve it. Cowboys for mine through gritted teeth.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by our good friends at Punctured Media, Top Sports, onelittlefootyfan.com.au and the Stubby Club. Don't forget to give them some love online. Check them out, like and subscribe. Follow, do everything that you can.
Give us some love.
No,
Sick of getting bagged.
I love it.
Look, we deserve it, but stop it.
We absolutely deserve it.
Buy some merch.
Yeah, they're flying out the door. Our shirts, they are flying out the door. So jump online, support Dan and I.
Rest in peace, Rugby League.
Ashley Klein, baby.